everyone, it's Sharonda from Payroll Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 4, King of the Narrow Sea. Okay, you know, it took everything in me just now not to say I know it's not narrow no more near his walls, but I'm sorry. I'm just really crunk because there's a lot that happened in this episode, okay? Baby girl Rhaenyra said that, honey, I'm finna get my back blown out, okay? You're not gonna get me hot and bothered, uncle. I'm gonna get me some. And then that raggedy hating Aldo is no longer the hand. This is a great week for me. Like, this is a great week's episode for me. I'm just saying, look, we're gonna break it down. Also, too, if my parents are watching, I'm a virgin, but I'm still happy for those who want to get their back blown out. I am happy for them, okay? That's all I had to say. But Daddy, stop snitching. So, let's start with the beginning of the episode where Rhaenyra is basically on this tour that her father set up because she, you know, he gave her the choice to find her own husband so she can gain her advantage in this Game of Thrones. See what I did there? But I was just like, girl, I didn't know that was like suitors. I don't know what that man was doing. I thought they was like in a history lesson or something. When I realized that he was trying to marry her, I was like, sir, what is going on in Westeros that we just can't find age-appropriate suitors? I know during that time, that's how life was, but it's just getting a little bit out of hand. So before I told this man, like, sir, have a seat, grandpa, because this is not going to happen between you and Rhaenyra. But then this little boy came up. I said, why? Why can't the kids of Westeros just go play on the Westeros playground? Why they gotta be worried about giving heirs to men? Why they gotta be worried about marrying people? Just let them be kids. Just let them be a kid. Go run around, play with the dragons, play in the sea. Go do something else instead of trying to grow up too fast. It was just way too much for me. But then I was like, who is this man sitting up here calling this little boy a C word? I was like, you are so disrespectful. Like, it was just a lot. But what really sent me is when the dude kept talking smack about him and the little boy said, hey, you ready to catch these hands? He said, square up. He pulled his sword out. He said, square up, son, was good. I was like, Lord, please don't let this child die. Just let our children of Westeros are our future. Do not let this little boy die. So he pulled out the sword. They going back and forth. And I was like, please, Lord, please help this little boy. And then all of a sudden, I hear like a little stab noise. And then I look and Rhaenyra looking and I was like, oh snap. The little boy that killed this grown man who was talking smack. I was here for it. I don't condone violence. I don't want people to die. But if someone had to die in this episode, I mean, the person who called this little boy the C word, I was totally here for this and I was okay. I was like, honestly, Rhaenyra, I know he was before you to believe when he said, I'm here to protect you. But I was like, sis, okay, I love me a man that's going to make me feel safe. Go ahead and get this little boy because you still like a little girl anyway. But Rhaenyra was like, ooh, honey, this is the ghetto. I had to get out of here. So she ended her tour early and she came back and, you know, everybody's coming to court while she's on her way to King's Landing on her boat. Like, the dragon almost took them out. I said, is that Daemon's dragon? And then I was like, that is Daemon's dragon. I noticed them little dragon thighs anywhere. I know what y'all thinking, like, Sharonda, why are you paying attention to the dragon thighs? But if you notice, like, Daemon's dragon has a really long torso and these skinny little thighs that just don't make no sense to me. Next time you see his dragon flying around, go ahead and pay attention and know that I was telling the truth, okay? So she gets all excited because her uncle, who she been beefing with after she told him to bend a knee, like, you living up in my house, they finally seeing each other after not speaking for all these years. So everybody in court, okay? Like, it's literally like if we in the lunchroom and we know it's finna be a fight or so-and-so finna see each other for the first time after they've been talking smack on the internet. That's what the Westeros streets was talking like. You saw everybody coming to court like, I said, where y'all been at these past 3 episodes? Because court wasn't popping like this the past 3 episodes. But since Daemon was coming back, and we know that Daemon's raggedy, but he just won this little stepstones battle. You know, I was like, they was like, oh, it's just about to go down. Let's get to court. So they get to court, and then Rhaenyra, she's smiling, but the king looking at her like, Beesh, why are you even here? You 2 months early, girl. Like, how are you back already? But then Daemon Raggedy behind comes in, And he like comes in, and then he tries to walk up to King Viserys, and they pull out the swords, and he was like, here. Actually, he didn't hand it to him. He like threw it. He was like, you can add it to the throne. And I said, Daemon, why do you always gotta be so petty? Every single time you gotta be so petty, but I still be here for it. So then Daemon has a crown on his head, and I said, now Daemon, what crown that you got on your head? Because last time I checked, it was only one king, and that was the King Viserys. So when Viserys was like, sir, what is this crown? He was like, we won the battle and I'm the king of the narrow sea. I said, I know you effing lying. So Viserys looking like, I'm really finna have to kill my brother. Otto looking like, I really hope that he kills his brother. Rhaenyra like, she been giving him the eye. Now, before I even knew what was going to transpire in the second half of the episode, I was like, is it me? At first I thought Rhaenyra looked at her uncle like in admiration. But then this episode, I was like, am I sensing like chemistry and a little bit of sexual tension? And then I was like, but that's her uncle. And then I was just like, girl, maybe you're just being extra because they've been trying to marry off little kids to old people for the past 3 episodes. So just chill out, girl. So I said, okay, cool. I'm just going to say it's admiration. So we see that Viserys ends up, welcoming him back because Daemon's like, there's only one king, and he kneeled before him. It's like, oh, great, they're back friends, okay. And Rhaenyra's happy because she could actually talk to him. But I just kept seeing these like glances and these looks and stuff, and I just didn't understand. I did love that the shade that the king like threw Alicent, because I don't care if Rhaenyra and Alicent made up. I will never, ever like Alicent, ever. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Her daddy manipulated her. I don't care, because she was friends with Rhaenyra and she married her daddy. Imagine how you would feel. So I don't care. They made up. They cool now. Who cares? I did like the little shade that she threw Alicent. She wasn't trying to throw it at Alicent, but basically being like, I don't want to be a woman trapped bearing kids my whole life, because that's literally what Alicent is doing. But we see that, her and her uncle, actually, I was like, hold on, Alicent was just pregnant last week, and I don't know how much time has transpired, but like, now she ain't got no baby. We see, and the baby, it couldn't have been that much time that went by. That baby looked like it's a strong, like, 6-8 months, like, that baby like it's close to a year, okay? Maybe not a year, but a strong, like, 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months, that baby has to be. So the math not mathing on this timeline of how much time transpired from last episode to this week's episode, but I'm gonna let it go. So we see that, Rhaenyra and Daemon actually have a good conversation with one another. And she is, she talks about how marriage is a death sentence for a woman. And Daemon was like, girl, like, you can go get married and do whatever you're gonna do. Like, that's what I be doing. I just want to know what Daemon's wife looks like, because the way that Daemon drags his wife every single chance that he gets is really crazy to me. Like, does she look bad? Like, what's happening? This man said that I doubt a child could even grow in her stomach. Like, what did she do to you, Daemon? What did she do to you for you to talk about her like this? You're not even around her. She all the way at the Vale, and you still talking smack about your wife. I don't understand it. But I do appreciate that he tells her, you can't live your life in fear or you will forsake the best parts of it. And I was like, look at Daemon crazy behind actually giving some good advice. I'm not going to take all advice from him, but he was actually giving some good advice. And I was like, okay. So we see that they're having a meeting, and basically Otto is telling him that, the sea snake, Lord Corlys, he kind of went back to his little house because he's still not effing with Viserys for not marrying Lyanna, his 12-year-old child. But he was like, he ain't let this go. And I said, sir, would you have let it go? People can be petty. And our people are petty, okay? He ain't letting that go, honey. So they're talking about how they're going to marry Laena to another family to help build like his sea strength. And so basically Hayden Otto sitting up here like, well, we're going to have to basically marry Rhaenyra, to strengthen the crown. So, of course, this is causing issues. I don't, you know what? I can't even get mad because you gone. You ain't got no job, okay? You lost your job, okay? You were about to lose your job, okay? But, I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited. So, we see that, we see that Rhaenyra like goes to her bedroom. She's like going to bed, and then Sir Kristen's outside her door. And I said, baby, the things I would do if Sir Kristen was outside my door and I wasn't a virgin, the things I would do to him. But I guess I spoke a little bit too soon. So when Rhaenyra goes into her room, she finds this bag with these clothes and then a map. So it leads down the secret passageway. She done dressed like a little boy now. And then she goes down the secret passageway, and then she see Daemon. And I was like, oh, look at the uncle and them, like, you know, having a fun day out in King's Landing. So they go to like this little show, and the Westeros show, and they talking smack about Rhaenyra, but she wasn't sweating it. She was booing them. She took it good. And then Daemon had her stealing. I said, Daemon, why do you have this girl stealing? She is literally a princess. Why do you have her stealing? So she stole something and ran away. She ran into one of the King's Guard. He looking at her like, now, Beesh, what are you doing out here? And she was like, please don't say nothing. And so he let her go. And then he looked at Daemon like, up to no good. So then they still out on their little fun uncle niece day out. And then they go to this brothel. I said, wait a minute. How old is Rhaenyra? I'm like, she only 17, or last week she was 17. Who knows? Because the baby's almost a year old now, and the baby was still in Alicent's stomach last week. So they go to this whole little brothel. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe he just like, girl, you got to see the world. Okay, you can see that you could get your rocks off. And I was like, okay, well, fine. You know, I'm here for people exploring their sexuality and being sexually free. But then, Rhaenyra and Daemon, they start looking at each other. I said, hold on. I'm feeling that sexual tension again. Then they start kissing. I said, Daemon, that's your niece. And then I said and thought about it. I said, these are damn Targaryens. I forgot. They was like marrying brothers and sisters to keep the bloodlines pure. So I said, this is what they do anyway. What did Alicent say? She said, I know how your family get down, okay? And so I was just like, well, damn, like, I mean, at least she was into it. I don't know. I still feel like this is grooming somehow. And so then it looked like they were smashing. I can't tell. Did they smash or did they not smash? Because then Daemon left. This made me so mad. First of all, let me tell y'all something. If I wasn't a virgin, let me tell you something that's my pet peeve. If I wasn't a virgin, you don't get somebody hot and bothered and then you just walk away. Okay? Because I was ready to come through the screen myself and fight Daemon myself. You get somebody hot and bothered again like that and just walk away with the girl's pants? Her pants was down. Her pants was down. Like, so did they smash? Because now I don't know who to believe. Everybody got me confused. I don't know who lying, who telling the truth. So like, did they smash? Did they not smash? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you feel like they smashed? Because that was like real quick for him to be like, I can't foresee them actually having that time to smash in the short amount of time that they had. But let me tell you what did happen. When Rhaenyra went back, first of all, I was like, girl, why didn't you go back through the passageway? You gonna walk right in front of Kristen? And he looking like, how in the hell did you get out? Like, what is going on? And then she took his hat and then she started playing. I was like, oh, is what gonna happen? The thing gonna happen? And then she kissed him. And I said, baby girl, I'm not even mad at you. I'm honestly not mad at you. Also, during all of this, I definitely had to go make sure that Millie, who plays young Rhaenyra, I had to make sure that she was of age. She's 22 years old, just in case anybody was freaked out like I was when she kissed Matt Smith. But she's 22 years old. She grown. She can do what she want to do. But back to the story. Baby, when she kissed Sir Kristen, I said, girl, exactly, because forget Daemon, I would have been trying to smash Sir Kristen. He would have been first on my list to get my walls knocked out. So he kissed her, she kissed him, he shook. And I was like, ooh, but I don't want Sir Kristen to die, girl. So like, y'all gotta be discreet. But the thing that sent me is like, he kept letting her kiss him, and then she was taking like little things off. And I said, honey, how was people smashing back then? You saw all that stuff she had to take off. Like he had the little metal things. I know I'm not saying that, the metal things, okay? Then he had the pants. He had a cape. He had a thing in the back. Then he had, like, after you took all of that off, then he had to unlace his boots. Then he had clothes under the armor. I said, I would have been not hot and bothered no more having to take all these damn clothes off. So they finally get it on an hour later after taking off these layers of clothing. And I was like, Rhaenyra, was you a virgin or did you already get your back blown out? Because I don't know, because I'm a virgin, so I don't know what it was like. But I'm just saying, it looked like y'all was doing a lot of different positions. Y'all were very experienced. So I don't know. But I do appreciate that it didn't have to be like a nude scene with her. I actually appreciate that. And I like how they kind of shot it through the mirror. One of the issues that I do have with this episode, it was a lot of ass and titties of women, but there is no peen. Equal opportunity peen. Equal opportunity nudity, okay? Women watch this show too. We already got titties, okay? So we need something else to look at, all right? For the virgins out there like me. So they get it on, woo, woo, woo. So yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, girl, get yours. I'm like, yes, I'm looking like a proud mama. Actually, it's okay. I'm gonna stand beside it, okay? So we see that Masan, I think it's Masan, the lady that Damon was with before, that he claimed he was gonna marry, and talking about she was pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant. She didn't want to be married. She didn't want to have kids. So I was just really confused about that whole relationship. Clearly they're not on good terms. So he wakes up. She tries to give him something to help with the hangover, but he doesn't take it. But we saw a little boy go to Otto's talking about, I had some news from, I think, White Worm, Grey Worm. But then I realized, oh, the brothel, like, we kept it in the family all these years. So, we see the little boy goes to her, and I was like, oh, snap, she snitched. Like, she gonna tell him, like, that Rhaenyra was in the brothel. But she told him everything. So she tell Otto, you know, hating Otto, he gonna go snitch, because he a snitch, okay? So he goes and tells the king everything that happened. The king was like, if you're going to accuse my daughter or something, then go ahead and be a man about it and say it with your chest. He didn't say all of that. That's what he should have said. But he was basically like, go ahead and say it. Don't try to beat around the bush now. You done came in my room all early, waking me up. Oh, pause. Side note. Alicent. Y'all. Now, we saw that the king been keeping his whole body covered. I think he lost the pinky now, because you saw the rot was starting to take course. But then he gonna call her in the middle of the night, and I was like, I know he stink. It don't matter how many baths you give him. You got all them little open lesions and stuff with bacteria. I know he stink. And she just sitting there. I almost felt bad. And then I remember, if you wasn't being disrespectful to your best friend, you wouldn't even be in this predicament or listen to your hating daddy. So I almost felt sorry, but then I didn't feel sorry. But I was like, oh, girl, him on top of you like that. I know he's sweating. I know he stank. I know you just gave him a bath, but I know. And then he gonna have the nerve to like move her face so she can look at him. Baby, don't nobody want to look at you. I would have been sitting there like, please hurry up. My eyes would have been closed, okay? Like closed, like, and I would have been holding my nose like this the entire time, because I know he stink. Oh, okay, back to Otto being a snitch. So Otto tell him, like, look, word on the street is your daughter a freak. He didn't say that. But he basically said that. Then Alicent, she in the back listening to it. And I was wondering, like, why was Alicent so mad? Like, was she mad because Rhaenyra was out here living her best hot girl Westeros summer? Or hot dragon summer? Like, what was happening? So, okay, so she was living her best hot girl summer, okay? So then, she sends Kristen with a meeting to basically tell her to come meet. So I'm thinking like, ooh, you here for a round two? But I was like, sis, no, like, he's here to tell you to go meet with Alicent. So they have the conversation, and Rhaenyra, I don't know who lying, who telling the truth. I don't know what's happening, okay? But basically, she ends up convincing her that, like, I didn't have sex with him, so, like, we Gucci. So then, when Damon walked his little raggedy behind back home, they was waiting for him at the door. They grabbed him, they snatched him up, threw him in the iron room. The king started kicking him, asking him what happened. He didn't confirm it, he didn't deny it, so that's why I've been confused this whole time. Like, did they smash, did they not smash? Like, did he get the head in? What's going on? I don't know. But then we see that he basically tells him, go back to your raggedy wife in the Vale. I don't want to see you no more. I'm done with you. I'm through with you. Period. Disown. So then after that, we see that Alicent has a conversation with the king, basically like, have you talked to Rhaenyra about what happened? Like, are you going to talk to her? I believe her. And I was like, girl, I don't know who to believe at this point. So then after that, Rhaenyra and the king have a conversation, and they like he kept it real, and he was just like, "Girl, you can't be putting yourself in predicaments like this." And then she tried the whole thing like, you and Uncle was probably smashing. Y'all could do whatever y'all wanted to do." And he was like, "Yeah, because we're men. You're a woman. Like, girl, I get it. Life is not fair. They're sexist. It's misogyny." He wasn't saying all of this, but it's like, but you're still a woman. Like, you're a woman. This is life for women. You can't do the same things. So we see that he basically tells her, well, now you have to marry the sea snake son. We both have to suffer the consequences of everything that's happened. So do like this is what happens when you act like you can do whatever you want to do and ignore your sense of duty. So she says, well, I'll follow my duty if you do your duty as a king. And I said, Rhaenyra be like chopping people at the jugular. And she was basically like, you got this hen who is like fiending for your throne and you're not doing anything about it. And I was like, get him. Get him. So then they have a conversation, and basically the king fires the hen. He got to go through some like history on how like he's ambitious and how he's been like seeking the throne this entire time, and how he planted his daughter there at the right time to help with his grief so she could become queen and have an heir. And so then he was just like, baby, he snatched that little button. He said, "You're not the hen no more." And I was like, bye, maid. Bye, maid. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, okay? Deuces. And so I was super excited, y'all. But at the end, we see that the princess gets a visitor, and basically they made some Westeros plan BT so she wouldn't have any consequences. So it's still like the king didn't really trust her, so he thinks that they smashed. I don't know who smashed. I'm very confused at this point, but I do know that she got her back blown out by Sir Kristen, and that's all I was here for in the first place. Like, she is living for us, and I'm so here for it. Westeros Hot Girl Summer, yes. But, y'all, I really enjoyed this week's episode. I liked last week's episode mainly because of the battle. I didn't feel like anything else was, like, memorable in the episode, but I just like messiness and I like drama, and it was like all messiness and drama, people getting their backs blown out. So I was totally here for all of this. So I enjoyed this week's episode. Keep them coming. Keep it going. I'm here for it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 4, King of the Narrow Sea. As always, my name is Sharona from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.